Hey, thanks for stopping by Mystic Messages. I hope everyone's having a great day. If you're new here and you're just stopping by, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, I thank you for giving me another shot. I just wanted, I'm actually so humbled by this channel at this point that I needed to come out here and express my humility and gratefulness for two wonderful comments that I just received. As many of you probably know, I just started this channel through a divine inspiration, something I really didn't want to do because I wasn't sure that it was, going to have any effect or make a difference in the world. But I was being persistently nudged by the universe to create this channel. And I guess there is a purpose for it because within the couple of weeks of beginning this channel, I already received a few beautiful comments from two wonderful souls, and I want to thank them both for spreading their love and give me the inspiration to continue. Um, I don't do this for myself. I do this uh, for Source and the universe and the divine masters, and most importantly, I do it for this planet and every living creature upon it because I want to see us in a better space. I don't want to see us continuing down a path of, you know, sadness and destruction. For so many years we have been told that, things can't change. We were actually conditioned to believe that things can't change. But I'm here to tell you, through the divine God, the ascended masters, whoever you want to, uh, believe in, if you place your trust in them, especially in God, the divine source, you will see how things in your life will change. I'm surprised by that every single day myself, and I find the small miracles in the everyday ordinary. I've learned to do that, which is something I never did before. And I'm realizing now that these are all promptings that we receive from Source on a daily basis. It's not like the movies where God starts talking out of a burning bush, or there's a big thunderclap in the sky, and there's this big bold voice that's screaming at the individual. It just doesn't work that way. God speaks silently. God speaks through nudges, internal nudges, pushing us, advancing us. But we have to ask because God's not going to force anything upon us. And again, the proof of that is basically when I look at my own existence. For instance, I was pushed to begin this channel and I fought it tooth and nail. Trust me, I did not want to do this. Trust me, this was the last thing I wanted to do. And I know I keep repeating that on several other channels, but apparently, this message has to get out there to someone because someone is actually experiencing the same situation that I am going through right now. I know that I'm not alone in this. When this first started coming to pass for me, I kept thinking to myself, "This sounds insane. This sounds. I mean," and I was one of those persons that, even though I believed in the spiritual realms, I didn't think that God could have this type of direct contact with individuals, and I'm learning that now. It's not just for, religious movies. It does happen. And this has nothing to do with religion. Religion has been one of the biggest cancers in our society, unfortunately. Now, that doesn't mean to say that every religion or every religious person is bad because there are people out there who do have pure hearts. There are some priests out there that have pure hearts, and nuns and pastors and rabbis and imams that have pure hearts, and then there's those that don't, and they utilize these religions as weapons, which is insane when you think about it. If you look at the world, take a good hard look at the world. Why are there so many wars? A lot of it has to do, aside from greed, is religion, and most religions are business, and that greed goes hand in hand with that business. And unfortunately, that needs to be exposed. I've said it before and I said it again. Anybody that's forcing you to want to follow their belief system or forcing you to have to give them money as a means of placating God is not of God. Think about that for a second. I don't know how many of you were aware that years ago people used to have to pay to be buried in church yard cemeteries, which is insane. It's insane that anybody should have to pay to go to a cemetery. Think about that for a second. Why should you have to pay for a place to rest? Doesn't make any sense. I noticed in where I live, the Catholic Church owns over 100,000 acres, just the Catholic Church alone in my state, of property that they pay no tax on. They own cemeteries that they pay no tax on. And even those plots aren't guaranteed for people for years because people are under the assumption that you die and the plot is yours for life. When my father passed away, my mother went out and spent 60 grand on a what I like to call the condominium mausoleum, which is basically a hole in the wall that you pay 60 grand for, and it's not even guaranteed to you for life. I mean, think about that. The church is perpetually making money off of these things, lots of money. And what is being done with it? Think about that for a second. Think about it. That's not from God, just basically a business. True devotees of Source and God and the divine are not loud, they're not boisterous, they're not showy, they're ordinary people. And when I was inspired to do this, I was one of those ordinary people. Didn't think that I could make much of a difference, but I kept having this nudge to push forward, and I just shut my eyes and did it. I said, okay, God, I'm going to be obedient to you. I'm going to do what you asked of me. And when I started doing that, when I started letting go of having to have control or having to know why or having to have all the answers, especially when you don't understand. I mean, how crazy is it when you think about in today's society? You know, people for years have been accused of being mentally ill because they had visions. Saints went through this, martyrs went through this. And then it turned out in the end that they were mostly right after all. That's the thing. Society has conditioned us to believe that having faith is something that is reserved for people of mental illness, that those who believe in the spirit world are sick, those that are able to communicate. Now, I'm not saying that that mental illness doesn't exist. Don't get me wrong. I used to be a former counselor, so I am aware that mental illness does exist, and but we have to remember to be able to separate the two. You know, and when you think about that, if you're starting to have these feelings, especially as a light worker or a chosen one, you're going to question and doubt yourself and say to yourself a million and one times, like I do. And every once in a while, I still do. I'm like, God, am I going crazy here, or is this really what I'm supposed to be doing? And I asked for a sign daily and wasn't receiving anything for the longest time. But then I just received my first two comments on my site, and it really touched my heart. And I wanted to thank both those individuals for leaving those heartfelt comments because they were greatly appreciated and they were inspirational for me to continue. It was almost like the divine. This is what I'm talking about when God speaks silently through other people, because we are the divine's hands, we are the divine's mouth. Okay? The divine can't physically be with us or speak to us in a way that we understand, but it's done through other people. And aside from those two people that left these great comments, which I was actually shocked about because, this has been a long road coming for me. I haven't made the greatest videos. I'm new at this. I know nothing about this, but I'm doing my best and following God's lead. And I know now that it's taking me where I'm supposed to be, that I'm on the right path. I got my message, and I'm truly grateful for that. And I wanted to express that. I wanted to express that to both of the two gentlemen who left me the comment, and to anyone else who stops by my channel and puts up with my rhetoric. And just wanted to know you're all very appreciated and loved, and I want to send many blessings upon all of you and wish you a wonderful weekend. And hope to see you again soon. Take care.